In a political landscape brimming with tension and personalities larger than life, former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are turning heads yet again with moves that have set the nation ablaze. Trump's trademark and never back down style is firing up supporters and critics alike, sparking debates that go beyond policy and straight into the core of American identity. From social media explosions to heated dinner table discussions, his unapologetic, bold persona keeps him in the spotlight and the center of every political conversation. But this time, it's Harris who has stunned her own base, deciding to step away without a single farewell or word to the millions who championed her. Her silence resonating even louder than a speech has left the public and pundits alike wondering if this is simply a pause or the prelude to something larger. The questions linger in the air. Is this the beginning of a major shift or just the calm before an even bigger political storm? As both leaders navigate a sea of polarized public opinion, their actions underscore the drama of a nation captivated by its own leadership. For some, Trump represents a return to tradition, a call to bring back the good old days. For others, his style feels like an echo of the past that clashes with modern values. Meanwhile, Harris's enigmatic silence has opened a floodgate of speculation, with supporters and critics alike asking, could this be the start of a retreat, or is she gearing up for a bold reemergence? The stakes are high, and every move is under scrutiny in a way that keeps us all on the edge of our seats. This high-stakes political theater makes one thing clear: whether it's Trump's provocations or Harris's silence, the American public can't look away, and everyone is waiting to see who takes the next step in the ultimate game of power and influence. Kamala Harris's recent decision to bow out without a single word to her base has left a wake of stunned reactions across the nation. In a move that few expected, Harris skipped what many assumed would be a powerful closing statement to her supporters, a moment for final words or gratitude. Instead, the absence of a goodbye or rallying call has spoken volumes, stirring up a whirlwind of speculation and emotion. For her loyal followers, it's a shock. Some feel let down, left wondering why she chose not to address the people who have stood behind her through every victory and setback. To them, this silence feels like an unsettling retreat, a choice that doesn't match the resolve and tenacity Harris has built her image upon. But for others, this unconventional exit is generating excitement and raising questions. Is her silence actually a calculated move, a carefully planned pause before a surprising next act? Could this be the calm before she reemerges with an entirely new strategy, one that turns the tables and stirs up the political landscape even further? As pundits, reporters, and fans discuss the motives behind her retreat, theories range from the mundane to the extraordinary. Some speculate she's stepping back to avoid the limelight temporarily, perhaps regrouping in a time when public opinion has become more polarized than ever. Others believe this silence is the start of something intentional, a strategic decision to create suspense and intrigue around her next move. This unexpected move has fueled intense speculation, with conversations springing up everywhere from social media to cable news about what it could mean. Harris's silence has left an eerie void, one that invites questions not only about her immediate plans, but also about what this signals for her future. Was this decision motivated by exhaustion, a need for privacy, or is it the ultimate strategic maneuver? Either way, the effect is undeniable. In the world of political theater, where every word is scrutinized, Harris's choice to remain quiet has managed to be the loudest statement of all. And now, with her supporters left hanging, the suspense only grows and the nation is left in a state of anticipation, waiting to see if this moment of silence will soon break into an unexpected return or signal a lasting goodbye. It's a cliffhanger unlike any other, and the audience is as captivated as ever. As news of the latest political moves spread, social media erupted into a frenzy of opinions, with fans, critics, and everyone in between weighing in on what Harris's silence and Trump's continued boldness really mean. Loyal supporters took to Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok, some expressing disappointment in Harris for not addressing her base, while others passionately defended her, insisting that there's more to the story than meets the eye. Hashtags like #HarrisComeback and #SilentPower started trending, with fans speculating about her next steps and hoping that this pause is only temporary. Others, meanwhile, pointed to Trump's resilience and refusal to exit the stage quietly, which many of his followers celebrated as the kind of strength they admire, with trending hashtags like #Trump47 and #BringBackTradition making waves across platforms. But it wasn't just the supporters who had something to say. Critics from both sides fueled the conversation, some calling Harris's exit a sign of weakness and uncertainty, while others accused Trump of clinging to the past instead of moving forward. News channels and opinion blogs picked up on these sentiments, with political commentators dissecting every angle. Some argued that Harris's silence signified a missed opportunity to make a powerful statement, while others saw it as a savvy move, a way to keep her base guessing and the public intrigued. The diversity of opinions reflects the depth of emotion stirred by these two figures, both of whom represent vastly different ideologies that continue to polarize the nation. Every post, comment, and tweet adds to the public theater, where each side seems eager to defend its stance and, in some cases, fan the flames of opposition. The reactions aren't just limited to the political realm, they tap into core beliefs and cultural issues, from values surrounding traditional roles to questions about progressivism and leadership. As these responses flood timelines, the digital arena becomes a battleground of ideas, with supporters and critics amplifying their voices louder than ever, creating a social spectacle that keeps millions glued to their screens, waiting to see how the dust settles on this ever-evolving political drama. As Trump and Harris's actions fuel political debate, their impact goes far beyond individual personalities, delving into broader cultural issues that have become hot-button topics across the nation. In states like California, where debates over gender, education, and family values are at the forefront, their moves have added a new dimension to the ongoing culture wars. On one side, Trump's unapologetic stance has resonated with those who see him as a defender of traditional values, whether it's protecting gender norms, prioritizing veterans, or supporting religious ideals. His words have emboldened a base that feels left behind by what they see as radical changes in the country, especially on issues like gender identity, school policies, and family dynamics. To them, Trump's platform stands as a beacon for restoring what they consider fundamental values. Meanwhile, Harris's recent silence has led some progressives to question her commitment to the issues they hold dear, such as inclusion, representation, and the fight for equal rights. The lack of clarity from her side has left supporters speculating whether her exit is temporary or if she's rethinking her stance on key progressive issues. For those advocating for inclusive policies, especially around gender and education, her silence is a stark contrast to the vocal activism expected of leaders on the left. However, others argue that her subtlety might represent a shift toward a more measured approach, possibly appealing to moderates who are wary of extremes on either side. At the heart of these debates is a nation divided on how it views progress, tradition, and the very essence of what it means to be American. School policies on gender, parental rights, and the role of state and private life are flashpoints that encapsulate the larger ideological rifts splitting the country. As Trump champions a return to traditional norms and Harris's quiet exit leaves questions in her wake, these key issues remain the battleground for what many see as the soul of the nation. With both leaders representing polar ends of the cultural spectrum, every stance they take or don't take adds fuel to the fiery debates consuming living rooms, legislatures, and social media feeds across America. Beyond U.S. borders, political intrigue is reaching fever pitch as international leaders face their own scandals, some of which mirror the high-stakes drama seen in America. In one particularly explosive story, a prominent foreign leader has stirred global headlines not for policy decisions, but for a scandal involving personal relationships with key political figures' families. From his own security advisor's spouse to members of his cabinet, the revelations have exposed a tangled web of power, influence, and betrayal that rivals any political thriller. This story has gripped the public abroad, with citizens calling for accountability and reform, fueling mass protests that underscore the universal appetite for transparency and integrity in leadership. The scandal abroad provides an intriguing contrast to the U.S. political landscape, where personal controversies and policy stances often intersect to fuel public opinion. For some, it's a reminder of the importance of ethical standards in government, while others view it as a reflection of the pervasive human flaws that affect leaders worldwide. With this international drama making headlines, American audiences are reminded that political theatrics and ethical challenges aren't limited to Washington. They're part of a global phenomenon that keeps citizens everywhere on the edge of their seats. As stories like these unfold on the world stage, they offer a backdrop to the evolving political narrative in the US, where Trump and Harris's actions are increasingly seen as emblematic of the struggle between traditional and progressive ideals. The global lens highlights the interconnectedness of these issues, underscoring the impact of leadership choices that resonate far beyond national borders. Ultimately, as these scandals come to light, they raise questions about accountability, ethics, and the weight of public opinion issues that transcend geography and are as relevant in the US as they are in capitals around the world. As the dust settles, for now, on the latest moves from Trump, Harris, and political figures worldwide, one thing is clear: the public's interest has never been more intense, nor the stakes higher. With Trump hinting at a return and Harris's silence adding suspense, the landscape of American politics is primed for yet another twist in the ongoing saga. What comes next for these leaders is anyone's guess, but their actions have already set the tone for what promises to be a divisive and high-stakes future. For Trump supporters, the vision of a number 47 signals a return to a bygone era of traditional values and America First priorities, while Harris's backers hope for a strategic resurgence that champions progressive ideals and new paths forward. This moment isn't just about two leaders, it's about the future direction of a deeply divided nation. Voters, exhausted yet captivated, are left to interpret each silence, each statement, as if reading tea leaves, searching for signs of hope, stability, or validation of their ideals. And with international leaders facing scandals that remind us of the universal challenges of power, it's apparent that these issues, so central to American discourse, are mirrored on the world stage. In an era where every move is dissected and every choice magnified, the world is left watching and waiting, wondering just what kind of legacy this chapter of political drama will leave behind. The road ahead is uncertain, but one thing is guaranteed: the stakes are higher than ever, and every new development will keep audiences glued to their screens, captivated by the unfolding story of power, ambition, and the shifting ideals of modern leadership. America, and indeed the world, stands at a crossroads, waiting to see whether these leaders will rise to the occasion, fumble, or forge a path no one quite expected. In the end, this isn't just politics, it's the story of a nation navigating its identity and future in a world where leadership has never been under such intense scrutiny.